Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn a poem called House of a Thousand Doors, written by Meena Alexander. It was published in the year 1988. It alludes to Meena Alexander's ancestral home and family heritage. Now let's see the background of the poem. Meena Alexander was an Indian woman living in United States. There, she often heard voices of women she left behind. She assumed that during her birthing pains in New York, this woman came in dream to deliver her. So she says, in a moment of this pain, all barriers destroy and women come together in mutual sympathy, understanding and concern. So, House of Thousand Door concentrates on this condition, shelter and rootedness of houses. Now, let's know about the poem. The poem shows life of two grandmothers. First one is housebound and domestic, while second is the political grandmother. Her grandmother is a powerful member of family who learned to exercise some control over forces that affected her life. She becomes a figure of myth and a symbol of tradition. Then, the house having thousand doors refers to its vibrancy and its openness to guests, foreign ideas and new aspects of culture. Moreover, it abides by the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It is a Sanskrit phrase which means the world is one family and this house keeps its door open for everyone. However, this positive aspect proved to be a disaster for India. Here, the house represents India. As the colonial power spread the network of their web in India, utilizing trade as a reason. In the contemporary era also, India is with thousand doors, as there is a brain drain and people are immigrating to foreign lands. Then, the house and the doors are represented as a strong forces against all kinds of evils. However, poet has lost this shelter and feels insecure. Therefore, her mind repossesses the security through the dream of house. Moving further, the title, A House of Thousand Doors, is made by Meena Alexander. It signifies that India has thousands of doors for the people to feel their individuality and a feeling of community. Then it also describes the variety of forces that are operating in India, like gender, heritage, language, experience, ideology, and the search for meaning. This shows Meena Alexander uses her writing to integrate the diversity of her experience. The poem reads as, This house has 1,000 doors. The sills are cut in bronze, 3 feet high to keep out snakes, toads, water rats that shimmer in the bald reeds. At twilight, as the sun burns down to the Kerala coast. Here, the poem begins with a house having 1,000 doors and window sills that are cut in bronze. The word sill means a slab of stone, wood or metal at the root of a window or doorway. See here, this area is called the sill, which is cut in bronze. It's well known that bronze is an alloy which is made by combining copper and tin. So over here, bronze is representative of mixture of different culture and traditions in India. The poem further says the window is cut out 3 feet high to keep out snakes, rats or toads from reaching the window. This line over here has 4 meanings. First, by mentioning this, the poetess makes fun of the Western construction of India as a land of snakes and snake charmers, and the window is built to keep them away. Second, also window being 3 feet high suggests the land of India having certain reservations, which is segregated on the basis of caste and which keeps away people of lower caste to avoid losing the purity of upper caste. Third, the window also symbolizes female space which is always being limited to 4 walls of house. She is never allowed to go out and see the world. So, to have a view of outside world, she sees through an open window. Lastly, it means the owner of the house or Indians made good decision to keep the windows 3 feet high in accordance to keep away rats or toads who hide in weeds which often grow in wet areas and points to the monsoon season in Kerala. Then, twilight is the time between dawn and sunrise. It is during this time that sun rises as though he is burning down the Kerala coast. And this image of rising is very charming to see. The roof is tilted in red, pitched with a silver lighting rod, a prow set out from land's end, bound nowhere. In dreams, wave lilt a silken fan in grandmother's hands, shell-colored, utterly bare as the light takes her. Now here, like a typical Kerala house, the roof is tiled in red and contrasted against a silver lightning rod, pointing nowhere. This nowhereness has two meanings. First, it represents the displaced Malayali. Malayalis are the people who speak Malayalam, the language of Kerala state, and these Malayalis are separated in different parts of world, making us realize their homelessness. So, nowhereness symbolizes homelessness. Second meaning is related to crow. A crow is bound towards nowhere, means it is always wandering here and there. Probably it is positioned as the vanishing. So the word nowhere may also signify lack of hope in a dystopian setting. After this, poetess dreams waves lifting a silk fan in grandmother's hand. The grandmother in the poem is recreated, mixing her politically active maternal grandmother, Kunju, and domestic bound paternal grandmother, Mariamma. Over here, reference to grandmother suggests the lost world charms that is now captured only in dreams. As the poet dreams deeply, the light gets more and more intense and bears the grandmother's image, revealing the naked truth about women who are believed to be protected within the bounds of the home. But this protection is in fact as a trap. This is all because the patriarchal mindset of the country in the disguise of protecting herself. Then the poem reads as: She kneels at each of the 1,000 doors, in turn paying her dues. Her debt is endless. I hear the flute played in darkness, a bride's music, a poor folk thing. I watched her kneel in all my lifetime, imploring the household gods, who will not let her in. Patriarchal mindset limits women to protect her. Due to this, poet shows women kneeling at each one of the 1,000 doors in turn. This saying goes that if God closes one door, He will open another. Here, grandmother is not worried about the doors. Rather, she is grateful and blessed that each one exists and she is able to pay her dues as these doors exist in her life. Poet says, being an Indian woman, her debts are endless. Because even though she performs each of these faithfully, the doors of opportunities do not open for her to a great extent. Moving on, the poet hears in the darkness a flute played by a bride. The old grandmother is juxtaposed, means she is compared with young bride, and music is set against ritual, which suggests various stages of the life of a woman, serving family throughout her life. Next, the poem addresses women as a poor folk thing, kneeling lifetime. This has two meanings. First, it refers to the bivalent aspect of womanhood, as both young and old, playing roles of mother and daughter, being the protector and the protected. The woman kneels all her lifetime driven by patriarchal setup and keeps desperate appeals with the male god who will not let her in. Carefully look the word gods in the poem. It is not capitalized. This suggests their common nature. It also forms a common noun, prefixifying to the word household, thereby domesticating them. In the second meaning, woman stands for India, who stands kneeling before colonial power, her back being bent by oppression. After decades of colonization, the poet sees her in the same position, as she is again suppressed by neocolonialism, which is why India is called a poor folk thing. This phenomena is explained by giving example of secular, where secular means nothing to do with religion and at the same time respect for all the religion. This suggests India having an ambivalent existence. Now, to summarize the poem, let's read it again. This house has 1,000 doors. The sills are cut in bronze, 3 feet high to keep out snakes, toads, water rats that shimmer in the bal reeds. At twilight, as the sun burns down to the Kerala coast, the roof is tiled in red, pitched with a silver lightning rod, a prow set out from land's end, bound nowhere. In dreams, waves lilt a silken fan in grandmother's hands, shell-colored, utterly bare as the light takes her. She kneels at each of the 1,000 doors, in turn paying her dues. Her debt is endless. I hear the flute played in darkness, a bride's music, a poor folk thing. I watch her kneel in all my lifetime, imploring the household gods who will not let her in. Now, let's see the theme of the poem. First theme is patriarchy and women. Patriarchy presupposes the natural superiority of men over female in all spheres of life. Due to this, women are always deprived of their legal rights, opportunity, mobility, freedom over themselves. In the poem, various instances also reflect this condition of women, like she kneels at each of the 1,000 doors, then a poor folk thing. The next theme is of memory. Memory is essential in all our lives. Without memory of the past, we cannot operate in the present or think about the future. So, Meena Alexander, through her poem, stresses the memory of the days spent in India, remembering her home and the surroundings of the South Indian state of Kerala. The poem also reflects India with its multicultural identity, always open to outsiders, and multiple identities of women through grandmother, young bride, woman, daughter, wife, mother, etc. Concluding, Bruce King, describing Meena Alexander, writes, underlining her fiction is uprootedness, nostalgia for a past which is itself a fiction. Her mind moves back and forth between India and rooms, hotels, streets in New York, never really at home. So, from this we can say, Alexander's creations are based on yearning for home. They are provisional creation of poetic self. So, that's it for this video. See you next time. If you want to have notes of this video, do check the link in the description. Finally, if you like my video and wish to support me, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.